Your daughter just called and interrupted us, Lori Dawn, but we will continue on. So you gave up on praying for Grandpa, and that's when God showed up.
Right.
Truth word?
Truth word.
All right. What is your favorite thing about each other?
You go first.
Grandma's a good cook.
Grandpa. What else?
She feeds me well. She feeds me well.
Anything else?
She likes to travel.
Grandpa. What's your favorite thing about Graham you couldn't live without?
Her cooking.
Her companionship?
Her companionship.
Give it up, Erica. You could probably write this yourself.
Grandma, what's your favorite thing about Grandpa?
His love of preaching, ministering, and
And what?
and the Lord.
Oh.
That's my favorite thing. Without that, there would be no reason for the relationship.
Mm.
Wow.
It's the basic foundation.
Wow. Wow.
Did you think of anything else, Grandpa?
No, that's good.
What is your favorite thing to do with one another?
But you don't want to hear.
We hold hands in the mall.
Oh God, give me grace. I said give me grace and he gave me Donald.
Oh, God. Okie dokie. What is your biggest advice to a lasting relationship?
Being able to forgive one another.
Be like a pretzel,
Yeah.
which means you have to bend every which way.
What was that question, Erica?
What is your biggest advice to a lasting relationship?
Yeah, that's good.
Looking for new ways to show love without losing
Old love.
the practice of old ways. So it's keeping it alive in whatever way is possible, and knowing that no single act is unforgivable, and also that nothing can erase the love of Christ which is shown to all of us. That's it. Without that,
You don't have to say that's it. She knows that's it when you finished.
Anything to add to that, Grandpa?
No, nothing to add, honey. That was a good answer.
That's a compliment. That was a good answer.
che miracolo.
What's that mean?
It's a miracle.
Grandpa, so you don't have any more advice to a lasting relationship?
Oh, a lasting relationship? Well, be a pretzel for sure.
I have more.
What else? Tell me.
It's never wrong to give something that represents love, but nothing is truly love unless it is fleshed out through personal responsibility, love, forgiveness, and kindness. Kindness is the most important thing in a relationship, because there's always going to be a reason why you have to forgive somebody, or you need to be forgiven, always. But kindness, as love, covers a multitude of sins.
Wow.
So it turns things around in your own heart and mind, and it helps you to humble yourself if somebody shows you kindness. But if the kindness is not there, love can be challenging, and the issues that made you unkind perhaps can erode the relationship.
Wow, that's good. I say ditto to that. You see, Grandpa is headlines, Grandma is fine print.
And let's hope none of it is fake news.
Ah, good one, Graham. Okay. What has helped you overcome arguments with one another, big or small arguments?
I just say, yes, dear, you're right. Simple. You're right all the time. That's simple, honey.
Me?
I don't think
Anyone.
you like that answer.
No, I want more, Gramps. Give me more.
That's good. That's good.
But he doesn't mean that. That's certainly not a good answer.
That's a good answer.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
Because you don't mean it.
I certainly do.
That I'm always right?
Oh no, I didn't. Did I say that? I don't remember
Yes,
saying
you
that.
did.
Wow, that was a big mistake.
This is why I've been on probably most people's prayer lines.
Oh. So no advice for arguments? What has helped you get through an argument?
Just walk away. Walk out of the house for 10 minutes, come back, and it'll be all better. Some old man told me that a long time ago.
Who?
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 His name was Spigadoro.
Who's that?
Hmm?
Who's that?
He was a guy that used to come to our church. And we used to visit him in Florida. Yeah, he'd say just walk out of the house and come back later.
Later?
Yeah.
Like 3 years
yeah,
later.
like 3 years later? How much later, Grandpa? 5 minutes? 5 years? Walking out isn't a great idea.
Walk around the block 3 times.
Okay. That sounds better. What about you, Grandma? Advice after an argument, or how to get through an argument?
If it's a situation that has not changed by talking it out, then you have to leave it at the feet of the cross. There's just no resolution. If the saying goes like this: a man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still.
Yes, that's right.
In the vernacular, it means ain't nothing changed.
That's good.
That's about it. So you accept what cannot be changed, like Saint Francis of Assisi. And you change what can be changed.
You don't have to add, that's about it.
Why is he laughing?
Because it's over, you don't have to add that.
Well, Saint Francis said it well. Lord, give me serenity, which means peace of mind and heart, to accept what I cannot change, and the wisdom, courage to do it, and the wisdom to know what is the
I
difference.
think St. Francis said that. And he was a wise old man.
Son to Jesus.
So, if you talked about it and it's already been spoken about, you just need to keep praying about it because you can't change them, only God can change them. Is that the gist of what you're saying?
That's exactly right.
That's
We have personalized it because we are people that are full of faults. And we have lived some of those faults and regret some of them, but it is all under the blood of Jesus, and the credit goes to him alone for giving us a marriage that could last this long, and we still love each other. We don't like each other's faults, but we still love each other.
Wow.
And that's human experience. That's exactly what it boils down to. Our lives were ordered from before the foundations of the earth, the Bible tells us, and our purpose is known to the Lord. And if we are able to receive the understanding of that purpose, or just to even walk in that purpose one step at a time, the Lord is pleased. And it doesn't have to be President of the United States or in between. It has to be a personal relationship that leads us spirit-led one step at a time.
Wow. Wow. Grandma believes in predestination.
She doesn't.
We were predestined to be with each other.
Oh, in that way.
Oh, Erica.
Okay. How do you handle when your spouse has let you down?
How you handle when your spouse has let you down?
Mm-hmm.
We don't let each other down. We pick each other up.
Could you elaborate on that?
Let me see if I can. When you let people down, it's not it's not very nice. So you better not let your mate down. You better hold her up, lift her up, and that's what I said to begin with. And that's my answer. And I didn't have to say that because you got the answer.
Is that your final answer? I would say when you have let someone down, you seek to know the truth about it and understand if you did it knowingly or unconsciously, in whatever way it was committed. Again, you need the Lord's help and his counsel and advice. If you've let somebody down, you admit you're wrong. It's the same perspective that we introduce to people who want to know the Lord. You admit you're a sinner, you confess you're wrong, and then you leave it with the Lord and walk according to his will. It's going to be a repeat performance of all that we've addressed for all the years that you're together, whether it is 1 year or even 1 month, 1 year or many, many years. And the Word of God says, faithful is he who has called you. So humbling ourselves before the Lord is the key to being able to forgive one another. And even if you are right, you have to be humble in the way you are right. You can't be arrogant. As he was saying before, she's always right. I'm not always right.
No, I was just kidding.
I know that. And you know it too. But it's a matter of whether or not the smile of the Lord is upon you. He doesn't look for you to be perfect. He looks for you to be obedient.
And forgiven.
Yep, and that's the example Christ gave to us when I think it's Hebrews, it says he was obedient even to the death of the cross. So that's our example. If you follow the example, you have success. If you carve your own way or think there's a new way to live, wholly acceptable and happily, because we do want to be happy, and happiness is really the product of being right before God, not with each other necessarily. That's it.
You don't have to say this. That's it. When you're done, you're done.
Well, then speak up.
That's it. It's irrelevant.
Speak up. Would you rather go to a bookstore that had just pamphlets or a nice hardcover book that has good content in it? That's when you say your headlines and I'm details, you
Fine.
need both.
Or fine print, not detail.
Fine print, whatever you said. You need both. You need both. You need cliff notes and you need a thorough textbook.
But at the end of the book, does it say that's it?
No, it says the end at the end of the book.
So to add kind of onto that question, if Grandpa has done something to hurt you, or Grandma has done something to hurt you, how do you go about approaching it? How would your suggestion be?
What did you say? Something?
Yeah, like if Grandpa did something to hurt you, how do you approach the situation?
That is different at different times. And as I said before, in your freshness of understanding one another, you may be hurt to the core and respond with a lot of emotion or calling the person out on it, initiated a response, hopefully. But that doesn't always work because the other person can be more resilient. The other person can even be right in the situation. You give them that or her that leeway. But first responses sometimes make the matters worse. So the old adage is count to 10, so to speak. Count to 10 and,
And walk around the block.
3 times, right?
Just 3 times, then you have to go back,
It
right?
all depends how serious the problem is. If it's serious, you might have to go 4 or 5 times. If it's less, maybe 1 time is enough. Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing as far as resolving issues or otherwise showing love, that's basic to what the whole idea is. It's very important that you see the impact that you've made not only on each other, because that's first response. Was it upsetting to that person? How did it affect them in a multitude of ways? Did you hinder them? Did you cripple them from reaching out in love? What was your purpose in doing it? All that kind of self-examination and evaluation helps you come to some sort of solution to it. But even if that doesn't work, if you've done the right thing, you have nothing to be worried about. Nothing.
Do the right thing.
Another expression is, if your best friend is God, you have everything. So even a mate can sometimes not be your best friend. And so you have to abandon yourself to the friendship of the Lord, which can walk you through troubled waters, climbing the highest mountain that's in the Psalms also. He gives me hinds feet, which means that I have been enabled to put my hoofs down into the rockiest terrain and climb the mountaintop.
Wow.
So what it boils down to is that marriage is probably the toughest challenge in life. Sometimes we don't think so. Sometimes we think, if I only had this, if I only had that, if I only lived here, if I only had married somebody else, but you didn't. So being in the relationship of marriage, and that applies to even people who think they don't need a piece of paper to call themselves married. If you've committed yourself to each other, even without a paper, you have an obligation to perform so that you bring success by your participation in what's right.
Wow.
What do you think?
That's good. That's good. I wonder what kind of paper you're talking about.
I'm talking about a license.
Oh, okay.
It says you are officially married.
Okay. I thought it was newspaper, funny paper, wax paper, whatever.
Yes, Erica, shake your head because you're hearing it firsthand.
Grandpa, so what do you do if Grandma hurts you?
Oh, I walk around the block. If Grandma hurts me, I don't cook for her.
Well, that doesn't happen anyway. Do you come in hollering and say, "Why'd you do that, Mary Jane?"
Oh, absolutely. On occasion, I do that.
Huh?
Every time. Every time.
Is that what you should do?
Why'd you say that? Why'd you do that? How come you're late? All I do is wait. That even rhymes. How come you're late? All I do is wait. That rhymes. That's good.
That's not good advice, Grandpa. You shouldn't be hollering at people.
No, I don't try not to holler.
You try not to holler.
Despite all of those issues, which incidentally he answered them correctly, I can add to it. It's part of his personality. Just part of his personality. And if he doesn't want that changed, it's something that I've had to live with. One of his primary questions is, why don't you? So in other words, you should have done it my way.
Wow. Wow.
But, as I said, that is what God knew about him and about me before he said, I want you to be together and I want you to do my bidding for my purpose, for my glory. And in the process, you can benefit from a loving relationship.
See, Grandma believes in predestination.
Yeah, if you walk with God, that's right. That's it.
It's good. You don't have to say that. That's it. You're finished. You don't have to add that's it.
See, he showed you the last point I made vividly. Why don't you? Why did you and why don't you? But I plod along on my mountain, and the Lord has given me enablement. And until he takes my breath, I will be faithful to this man.
I am either Mount Vesuvius or Mount Kilimanjaro. Keep climbing that mountain.
No, no, maybe you're the Grand Canyon. A sight of beauty, very, very large.
What kind of joke was that?
No, I don't mean that. I meant in personality and diversity. Well, whatever it is, we thank the Lord. That's it.
Grandma,
Huh?
you don't have to say that's it. We know that's it.
Oh, Lord. I have to laugh, otherwise